I chose RuneScape because it is considered one of the classic online massive multiplayer roleplay games to date, and back in its prime it had a massive online community. The game is incredibly extensive and has a lot of parallels to the HBO show Westworld. Different avatars have separate backstories, can take players on a variety of quests. The huge variety of paths and quests available to players makes each user's experience unique and uniform at the same time. Defining your own experience is a quality of most online games, but I was drawn to RuneScape because it seemed user-friendly and I enjoyed the sense of adventure a medieval world. RuneScape had a variety of different ways you could communicate, but I was most drawn to the emotes feature. I played with some of the expressions my avatar could make. However, I don't think these emotes are as effective for communicating with other users because most players do not have their screens focusing on other users when they were playing. Still, it was interesting seeing how my avatar could express itself virtually. Most likely, other players don't see these emotes I make because it's much easier to walk around and play the game with an aerial view. However, I think the emotes are still interesting and expressive and definitely for the own user's entertainment instead of others. This also ties into the fact that RuneScape is a very individualist game. While it is a multiplayer and you can interact with others, most users do not acknowledge or converse with each other, especially in non-trading environments where people don't have to interact with each other. Most users did not acknowledge my presence even when I reached out to say hello. I think other players are either disinclined to interact with a low-level player like myself, or they are not paying attention to anything but their own tasks/goals within the game. The next thing I want to talk about is the game's examine feature. Every virtual creature and person has their own backstory, even the players. One feature the game offers is the ability to examine avatars if you right-click them. The game will give me a hint of what the character is like if they are a computer and will show me the statistics and abilities of real-life players. Some observations of the perspective of my own avatar, which was interesting. Examining other players is particularly interesting because they, like other characters made by the game makers, have their own history and backstory within the game. The only difference is they have sculpted their own backstory themselves. Players operating their online character have their own history in real life, but have also made specific decisions to sculpt the character they have. I think this is a lot to say about deep-seated feelings about some of the players. If their character is a war hero, this person may wish that they were more courageous in real life, or on the other hand, they may already be a courageous person, enjoy that quality about themselves, and project it onto their own avatar. Users are creating their own experience, but starting with the character they create to begin with. It truly is like operating a second life. Further supporting the fact that you can sculpt your own experience within the game is the huge variety of skills you can develop during your time on RuneScape. You can do anything from work on your combat skills to farming. While you have the agency to develop all these skills if you please, some users like to develop specific skill sets based on their interests and how they want to play the game. RuneScape is primarily a combat game, but if combat doesn't interest players, they have a plethora of activities to choose from as well. My favorite aspect of skill building is that you can only build skills through trial and error. Just how in real life you learn from failure, RuneScape will have you fail before you succeed, showing your true progress in your character's abilities. I chose to try and develop my skills in agility and went through a short obstacle course to build up my agility experience points. My character had to fail first and fall before being able to successfully balance on a log. On my second attempt, I was able to get across the bouncing log because my avatar was slowly building up the skills. I think this adds to the addictiveness of the game because players are rewarded by their endeavors by seeing progress so immediately. As people, I think we enjoy to see ourselves progress and get better at something because knowing we are improving is a comforting feeling. Progressing forward in the game and building skills is much more easily done than in reality, and I think this is an aspect that draws a lot of players in. In addition, earlier levels of skill sets are easier to reach than later in the game. The more you develop a skill, the harder it is to break through to the next level of the skill. This hooks players earlier on while keeping their interest as they continually challenge themselves to improve and reach their next milestone.